Okay, so we traded the gold news today. There was a CPI data that came out, and we made around about $396 on gold. So that comes to around about 22,663 pesos, and that's only on the gold trade that we had today. So basically, traded the news. As you all know, that there was the CPI news that came out today, and you can see all the headlines of gold. Everything was worked out positive for gold, basically. So I've got a sheet. Actually, I've made a sheet which I can share with you. If you follow my page, all the different type of news that comes out and the definition in short about what that news is. So like today we had news on CPI, so consumer price index. What is consumer price index? It's just general knowledge you need to have, and it's good to have it's like a checklist where you can just go back and forth onto the sheet and just see what's happening today, and you'll have an idea as to what's going to happen. So this measures the changes in prices of everyday goods and services. So this is US data basically. This sheet is still work in progress, but I just put the main currency pairs basically, and gold. That's what we normally trade. So Euro USD will be affected by this. So anything linked to the USD is going to be affected by this. So Euro USD, then you have GBP USD and XAU, that's gold. So here's the actual important part. What is the effect of this news? So whether the news goes up or down is what is very important for how you're going to open your trades. So I took a long on gold today based on this effect that was going to happen by that news. So because the CPI news was positive, in terms of the news being positive, so that had a bad effect on the US dollar. So if in case the inflation is high, okay, the US dollar is up, okay, and gold goes down. But today, since it was positive, okay, compared to what was the previous time it came out, I'll just show you that as well. So US dollar goes down if it's low, so basically that came out as low as positive, and gold went up. So this was the effect. So instead of just gambling and just putting those trades in at the news itself, basically what happens is if you wait for about an hour or so, you'll have an approximate trend as to how the market has reacted to the news. So that's a better way of going. And as you see, it paid off for me today because I waited for the market to take its the effect to take place on the market on the gold prices. And as you can see, all the news that was coming out about the analysis of the CPI data, it shows that gold actually was going to go higher today, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, so I'll just take you through this trade that we did, and it's not the entire trade. I just give you a glimpse as to how it was rolling on, and it was a running profit, and how I took a trailing stop loss that enabled me to capture maximum amount of the profit that I got. So let's get started. There are many ways you can keep track of the economic calendar. Most of the trading platforms have economic calendars out on their platform, but you can also have you can also go to different websites that also offer you these services where you can set alerts as well. So there's something like this particular website, Forex Factory. Basically, you can track metals, you can track energy assets as well as crypto assets, and then you have the economic calendar, which is very, very important. All right, and that's why I was able to see the news in detail, if in case you're interested in seeing the news in detail. So this, as you can see, is Thursday, October 10th, and we have some BPI data coming out later, if in case you're trading that as well. So if you click on any of this, you can set up alerts as well, okay, and you can also read about it, what is the forecasted rates that are expected, as well as the previous rate. So you make your judgment based on that. All right, don't just jump into something just because you think it's going to go one way. So it's better to play out the market by watching it after the news comes out and just waiting. Obviously the gains are much less. It's better to wait for the actual news to come out and take your judgment at that point of time. As you can see here, everything's green, okay, except for the unemployment claims. All right, so all of this had an effect on gold, and that's why we were able to take that trade as a long trade. Okay, there's also another app which I use. I'll show this to you. It's called Days. So it's basically trading days. So if you click on it, it gives you all the news. This is a really cool app, and you can set alerts as well. But the only thing is you need to do this manually. So let's just say that if you're trading today, okay, let's just click any one of these. I'll just click the UK one. As you can see here, you have this bell icon on top. You can just click on it and set the alert. So you can either the exact time or 15 or 30 minutes or whatever before the actual news comes out. So you can get this app in the Play Store. Actually, it's a free app, so make use of this as well. Okay, so if you want to have that sheet which I just showed you, you need to be following my page, and below this post you can just type eco, and I will send you a copy of that. All right, okay, so this is the gold trade that I was talking about, and as you can see, it's already up in profit. I did not capture the trade right from the beginning, but as you can see, we already at $364 just for this one single trade. All right, and let me just explain what's happening here. I entered in, I bought 0.2 lots at $2,624, okay, and 25 cents. And if you see my stop loss, it's not below the 2,624, it's right on top. And this is called a trailing stop loss, as I always told you in the past as well. It's very important that you understand this, because if you understand what a trailing stop loss is, you're going to make so much more money than losing money in a normal, when it comes to a normal stop loss. Okay, a normal stop loss is supposed to stop your loss, but with a trailing stop loss, what I'm doing here is that I am ensuring that I capture all of that money that you can see on the screen. So all of this money, right now, I was able to capture this money, not all of it, but at least a majority portion of it, as I just showed you, okay? And I was able to do that only because I use a trailing stop loss. So basically what I've done is I've moved my stop loss into the profit zone, okay? And if you can see, it's right on top, just below the low the low of the last candle, because the price was basically hitting a resistance at around about the 2644 mark, 43, 44 mark. So I know that at some point of time it's going to reverse, and to ensure that I don't lose all of that money right from top to the time I enter the trade, I put my stop loss right on top. So that's called a trailing stop loss. So that ensured that I was able to capture all of this money. Okay, so that's how you need to trade. That's how it's going to ensure that you are going to be in profit all of the time. It doesn't happen all of the time because you are going to be wrong on some of the trades, but when you go into profit, try and move your stop loss behind the last candle. Okay, preferably below the last low, if in case you do not want to actually be stopped out. The reason why I moved it just little below the actual low of that candle is because I wanted to still stay in the trade, hoping to gain a little bit more profit, but unfortunately it did reverse, and because of my stop loss I was able to capture all of that money and not lose all of that money, because if it drops really quickly and I'm not able to get out of that trade on time, I would end up maybe with about $200 and not the $334 that I got. Alright, so it's very important that you learn this trailing stop loss. Okay, so that's about it for this video. I just want to make you understand there are things that you need to remember. So news, if you're trading the news, always trade it after the market has absorbed the news. Okay, and see the direction, and if you comment eco and you are following my my page and my channel, I will send you a copy of that document which I'm working on. It's just a simple checklist for you to know what is happening. You can also click on those apps which I showed you. Alright, and you will have a better way of trading. Okay, so make sure that you're on top of the news. If you're trading gold, if you're trading forex, this is very, very important. Okay, it's very, very critical that you understand what's happening in the news before you make your trade. So it's not everything about technical analysis, it's also the fundamental analysis, especially when it comes to gold and forex. That is very, very critical. And also crypto as well. Right now, since the traditional finance guys, the big guys, are into crypto, you need to be aware that anything that is moving the economy, anything that's affecting the economy, like there's a natural calamity or there's wars or anything like that, is directly having an impact on the price of Bitcoin, and because of the US dollar price effect as well. Okay, so you need to keep this in mind while you're trading these assets. Alright, so I hope you learned something new today, and do give me a like and follow, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in my next video.